Sri Gurubhyo Namaha, Guruve Amara Namostate. This is a story of a saint known as Tapasiji Maharaj. This is the life history of actually Sudama, who was a very good friend of Sri Krishna. This story goes back to Dwapar Yuga. In Dwapar Yuga, Sri Krishna kills Kamsa, his uncle, hands over the kingdom to King Ugrasena. He and Balarama, they go to Sandip Maharya Ashram to get educated. Actually, the course is for 5 years, but Sri Krishna finishes it in 63 days. Sandip Maharishi knows that it is none other than Lord Mahavishnu himself, so he doesn't tell anything. And before leaving, Sri Krishna asks Sandip Maharishi, why didn't you ask any Guru Dakshina? Then Sandip Maharishi tells, no, I don't want to ask from you, I know who you are. This conversation is heard by Guru Mata. At this moment, what happens? Few days before, the son of Sandip Maharishi was kidnapped by an asura known as Panchajanya, who takes him away and kills him, and he goes and hides in the ocean. So Guru Mata comes to know about this, and he calls her husband and tells, why you have refused to ask Guru Dakshina with Sri Krishna? He says, I know who he is, I don't want to ask anything. Then Guru Mata asks, please give him permission so that I can ask. Sandip Maharshi says, okay, don't worry, you go and ask on your behalf. So she asks Krishna to come to her, and when Sri Krishna arrives, Guru Mata asks, you have to give Guru Dakshina and go, then only the Gurukula system will be complete. Sri Krishna says, no problem, whatever you want to ask, please ask mother. Then she says, please bring back my son. Sri Krishna promises her, and he leaves for the place where this Asura was hiding. He goes and fights with him. At the moment of his death, the Panchajanya Asura confirms that, yes, I killed this Atma, and now the Atma is not here, but it is in Yamaloka. And he requests Sri Krishna to give a boon that after my death, I should be used as a conch by you. So the Panchajanya Asura becomes the conch, and it is used by Sri Krishna himself. Then from there, Sri Krishna goes to Yamaloka, and Yamadharma Raja receives him with all honors. And he says, oh Lord, why you have come all the way? If you have told me, I would have come all the way to meet you. No, it is the purpose which I want, so I have come, it's no issue. And Sri Krishna tells, I want this soul back. Yamadharma Raja says, this soul is in a particular department, which is headed by so-and-so, you please go and request him. So Sri Krishna goes to the department and meets the head clerk there and asks for the soul. The head clerk refuses, telling that the rule is that once the soul comes to Yamaloka, it cannot be given back. And he says, you have made the law, and how you can break the law? But the argument takes place between both of them. Ultimately, the Sri Krishna says, I am Parabrahma, I know how to break the law and make the law. And he gets angry and he summons Sudarshan Chakra. At that moment, Yamadharma Raja runs and comes and pleads with Yamadharma Raja, please take back your Sudarshan Chakra, I will solve the problem. Then he orders the head clerk to give the soul to Sri Krishna. The soul is given to Sri Krishna, who takes it, but before leaving Yamaloka, Sri Krishna curses the head clerk, telling that since you argued with me knowing who I am, you will be born in Kali Yuga as in the law department, and you will come to know how to break the law and make the law and all these things. And he goes to Bhuloka, to the ashram of Sandip Maharshi, hands over a son to Guru Mata. Guru Mata is very pleased. Then both of them, as they were leaving the ashram, Sudama comes and meets them. Then Sudama asks Sri Krishna, where you had been? Then Sri Krishna tells the entire story, what happened. Then Sudama questions Sri Krishna, how and who will be the witness to know that this head clerk has taken birth in Kali Yuga? Sri Krishna says, yes, it's a very good question you asked, so you will be the witness for it. Then Sudama says, oh Lord, how can I be the witness? Because I am also mortal, I am going to die very soon after all these things. Then Krishna says, don't worry, and he gives a palm leaf written by Sri Krishna, telling that you hand over this to Indra. Indra will give you a Kaikalpa, by which taking it, you can live for 5,000 years. So Sri Krishna and Balarama leave, and Sudama also leave, and Sudama undergoes his karmic, this one. The story is how he takes the Avalaki and goes to Sri Krishna, meets him, and he took fist of Avalaki is taken, and Sudama gets the wealth and all this thing. So he lives that entire year. So at the time of his this one, he goes to Indra in Indraloka, hands over the palm leaf to Indra, and Indra gives him the formula of Kayakalpa. Sudama comes back to Boloka and he prepares this Kayakalpa, he consumes it, and he changes his name as Tapasviji Maharaj, and he goes through the Himalayas as a wandering rishi, and then he comes back to Jhansi. From Jhansi nearby Kosalram, he established an ashram. At that time what happens, Madan Mohan Malviya, a leading politician, falls sick, and he could not get rid from this problem in spite of having very good influence. Then he comes to know that Tapasviji Maharaj, a sannyasi there, who is in a position to cure this. So he goes and meets Tapasviji Maharaj. Tapasviji Maharaj gives him the Kayakalpa, by which Madan Mohan Malviya becomes cured. This is printed in the headlines of the newspaper, and it spreads through North India, and Tapasviji Maharaj becomes very famous. At this time, what happens down below South India, in Karnataka, in Bengaluru, Vishwamitra Maharishi meets Amrish Verma and tells him that you have to buy a place nearby Nandi Hills, because a sannyasi from the north will come and he has to use that place for a certain purpose. Then Amrish Verma asks, how can I know the identity of the place? Then Vishwamitra Maharishi says, as you go, you will find a crescent formation. Near that place, you buy the land. So Amrish Verma with his eaglets group, they are traveling towards Chikbalapur in the train. Then they see this crescent form near the Nandi cross. Then Amrish Verma, next day he goes in his car and meets this place, goes to near this place, and comes to a village known as he comes to a village nearby known as Kanvepura. On inquiring with the people of the village, he comes to know that there is a place nearby. So Amrish Verma buys that place and keeps it there. Then afterwards, here what happens, in Bangalore, a prince gets ill health, and he comes to know about Tapasviji Maharaj, and he sends a message for Tapasviji Maharaj to come and cure him. Tapasviji Maharaj consents to this message, and he comes down, and Amrish Verma meets him, and Tapasviji Maharaj is taken and placed in this place where Amrish Verma has bought the place as ordered by Vishwamitra Maharishi. That place is known as Sudama ashram now, and Tapasviji Maharaj stays there. This prince comes and meets him, and he is cured. After a few days, what happens? Judge Anand, this head clerk is born in Bangalore as Anantamurthy. In the course of time, he finishes the law and becomes a judge. He comes to know about Tapasviji Maharaj staying in near Nandi ashram, near Nandi Hills, and he, with his son, comes and meets Tapasviji Maharaj. The moment Tapasviji Maharaj sees this person, he recognizes him as the head clerk in Yamaloka. So Tapasviji Maharaj knows, yes, me being a witness and Krishna's curse has come finished. So I'll have to leave. And at that time what happens, Judge Anantamurthy hands over his son, Sachidanand Swami, to Tapasviji Maharaj. He gives his son Sachidanand in order to Tapasviji Maharaj. Meanwhile, Judge Anantamurthy, he leaves to his place. And Amrish Verma and Tapasviji Maharaj, they frequently meet and they talk about the rishis and all those things. And after some time, with Sachidanand, Tapasviji Maharaj leaves to his ashram in Kosalram, where in the year 1953 he leaves his body and goes to Vaikuntha.
That is a story.
This is the story. In between, Tapasviji Maharaj cures Shivapala Yogi also. Shivapala Yogi is none other than Shuka Brahma Maharishi. So Shivapala Yogi, he becomes sick and he sends a message to Tapasriji Maharaj to cure him. So Tapasriji Maharaj prepares the Kayakalpa again and gives it to Shivbala again, who gets cured. And then thereafterwards, Tapasriji Maharaj goes back to his ashram and leaves his body in 1953. This is the story of Tapasriji Maharaj. But a book is available in all the leading stores known as a yogi who lived for, a sannyasi who lived for 180 years. This sannyasi is none other than Tapasriji Maharaj, who lived for 5184 years, who is none other than Sudama, the best friend of Sri Krishna.
And this Kaya Kalpa Yoga,
this Kaya Kalpa and all the knowledge of spiritualism was given to Swami Sachidanand, who adapted it and who became known as Swami Sachidanand. This Swami Sachidanand is none other than Kanva Maharishi. And he was the guru of Anandagiri in Kumbhakoranam in his previous birth. Namaste.